Hey everybody, Randy Reviews It here. So today I just wanted to make a short video. I hope I don't ramble or rant too long. But Brass Facts just put out a really, I think, amazing video as far as prepping goes. And I wanted to add an addendum to it. So overall, Brass Facts talks about prepping and being honest with it. Like here's what to actually expect. Here's what will most likely happen, and that's been something that I've wanted to make a video on. I think he probably did a better version than I would have ever made, but there's a few points that I wanted to, one, make concrete, and two, there was something that he missed that I think I wanted to add. Definitely leave a comment if you think I'm wrong about it, or if you think that it's honest. I'd love to hear that too, just to make sure I'm not crazy or anything like that. But in Brass Facts' video, he talked, about financial preparedness a little bit. And I think that's what we overlook. I've been guilty of it definitely in the past, where maybe I spent more on gear and stuff like that than I should have. Should have kept a little bit more of a nest egg, so that in case anything happens, you have kind of that fallback. Because, cash is king. And it's something, I grew up very kind of poor. If I guess that's a term for it. I grew up with not much money. Definitely a little bit rougher on things. So when I became successful, to me in my head, I can still lose it at any point, and that kind of freaks me out. But the amount of stress and mental angst that being financially secure removes or alleviates cannot be put into a quantitative amount. It's amazing how much better my mental health, general happiness and everything like that changed when I started being more successful, or I got the opportunities, I grew my career the way that I should, things like that. And if you can get to that point, if you can get to the point where you're not worrying about your monthly bills, that's a big thing. Like, I know people are struggling right now. The economy is really rough out there. The cost of living is crazy high. Housing is crazy high. But instead of spending like the extra money on like certain guns or gear or anything like that, if you can get to that point where you're not having to worry about your monthly bills, get there first. Like, that should be your first prep in anything, is being able to make sure that you can maintain the quality of life that you're experiencing now. The second thing, which I'm guilty of sometimes too, is build up a nest egg. Build up, whether it be $5,000 or $10,000. It doesn't have to be a ton. It doesn't have to be like 50 or 100,000 necessarily. But even $5,000 or $10,000 can go a long way. Or if you have some type of event in your life, that it could mitigate that really quick. So for example, if my truck broke down tomorrow, something like that, I would be able to put a down payment down, go get another vehicle. Might not be as nice, that sort of thing, but I would be able to continue my life kind of as is. When people don't have enough money for, let's say a down payment on a vehicle, towing, repairs, potentially some medical bills. I know medical can go anywhere from an extra $200 to $100,000 depending on what you experience. So you can't prepare for everything, but you can prepare for a lot of things. So that's where I would say financial awareness is probably the key point in prepping, because the last thing that'll go in our country, I feel like, is like value of cash. Like, it's getting there, but at the same time, guns are cheap. Ammo's a little bit up there, so maybe keep a little bit of that. But you can barter with a lot of people with cash. I know there was like a Sean Ryan episode. I'm trying to remember the guy. He was from Mexico, dealt with the cartel a lot. He said, like, one of my biggest preps is keeping cash on me. He's like, if you can bribe, pay, whatever it is, along the way, like, people help you out. Keeping a watch or something like that. Something that you can trade that's valuable. So being able to trade value in cash is like the ultimate, like, they know what it's worth and you can trade that. So I think cash, or keeping like silver and gold even potentially as well, is like the main prep. And I know this has been almost like a 5-minute rant already, and I haven't even gotten to the second point. But financial preparedness, like, I don't want any of my viewers to be over leveraging themselves to get gear, if that makes sense. So be responsible with things, or as responsible as you can be. I'm still trying to get better at that myself. Starting this YouTube channel was financially not the greatest idea, but I've been having fun doing this and trying to be more responsible with that, reviewing kind of less Gucci gear, if you will, and more practical stuff that more people might be able to afford on a regular basis. So number 2, the big point here that I wanted to make with prepping is social prepping. So this is the thing that Brass Facts didn't cover. I think what most people discount, and you'll hear them talk about it on shows or anything like that creating a network. Well, how do you create a network? To create a network, you have to be a likable person. You have to be someone that's fun to be around. You have to go out of your way, or maybe come out of your shell a little bit if you're introverted or something like that, and talk to people, get to know them, make friends. You have to be able to make friends and all this stuff. So I think that's what a lot of people don't talk to is, let's say everything ended and blah, 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 and you joined, some post-apocalyptic community. If you're an asshole, no one's going to want you there. Like, be nice to people for the most part. Like, I understand if someone does something awful and it's warranted and you don't want to be their friend, that's fine. But there's people that have, I think the internet kind of creates this divisive, groups of people that if you actually sat down and just talked to people, you would find you'd have a lot more in common with them than you think. Even among that whole right and left thing that I'm not part of necessarily either group. But being just generally, like, if you find yourself where you can't make friends, try to change that. Like, go out, put yourself out there. Since I moved to Tennessee, I moved down here with no friends. I joined, gun club. I went to a cigar lounge. I've done a few other things, talked to other people. And I've made a lot of friends here, like people that I consider now close friends, even. And it's been really, really good. And that's something that I was thinking about with preparedness is, if you want to have a community, the quickest way you can build a community is people near you. And they might not all have the same opinions or ideas or beliefs as you, but if you're a nice person and you're understanding and you're good socially, you're not ultra awkward, then you might be able to build that network and rely on these people. Like, financial preparedness is one thing. Number 2 is if you have a good friend network or a good support system, that goes a long way. Like I said, I grew up poor. I don't have the best support system, especially, on things. Like, I didn't have anyone that I could go, hey, I need help, like a bunch financially or anything like that. Now I feel like I've built some friends where if I was in a real bind, they would be able to help me. And also building those lifelong friends, like if, for example, I die, knowing that my son would have some people checking in on him occasionally, knowing that his mother has a really good family that would step in as well, but also neighbors, friends, if you're religious, your church system or network with that. But social preparedness, I think, is just as important, is being able to build those social networks, to make friends, to, rely on people. I know as preppers, we want to be self-reliant on everything, and I think you should strive for that. But also knowing that, it takes a village type of thing. A lot of things are easier done in a group, and if you can build that group, it's going to help you a lot down the road. Sorry, I know this is at 10 minutes, but I hope that it gives you something to think about. This isn't my typical type of video, but it was just something that I wanted to add that I thought Brass Facts left out. He did a great video. I would never take anything away from him, but I would just say social preparedness is definitely a thing, and I don't think gets raised to the level that it should be. You know, skills is another thing. All these different people have skills. I know one of my neighbors, I think, is like a what do you call it, an eye doctor, ophthalmologist, maybe. Maybe that's nose and throat or something like that. Optometrist, sorry about that. They're an optometrist, so it's like they have skill sets too, you know, making friends with different skills so you could learn those skills, as well as you have someone you can rely on if you need that sort of thing. So that's, I think, a really important trade-off, and it's something to think about, is building those social networks. I hope someday I can socially network with some of you people in person a little bit more often. I try to go to events, things like that. But thanks for watching. Leave a comment. If I wasted your time, definitely downvote me. Leave a comment as well. I'm sorry if I did. I hope you found this valuable. It's just something that I thought wouldn't fit in a short, obviously, but something that the community doesn't talk enough about. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Take care.